What is up everyone, my name's Al from GamesRib, and today we're taking a look at another fantastic Bleem. This time, Chocobo Racing for the PS1, Bleeming onto the Sega Dreamcast. If you love Mario Kart, if you love Crash Team Racing, if you love any of those kart races, I actually think this is a gem that most people don't actually seem to really talk about, and it Bleems really damn well on the Sega Dreamcast. Let's take a look. So yeah, this is it. This is Chocobo Racing for the Sega Dreamcast. Now obviously, well, it's Bleeming on the Sega Dreamcast, let's say. You know, it's not native port. This is Bleeming. Now, I've got to say, of all the kart races, this is actually one of the, to be fair to me, one of my actual preferred ones. Don't get me wrong, as always, starts with a bit of a trippy bit of FMV work, but that always happens with the Bleems. But then we're into the main menu, and now you cannot deny, this already looks pretty decent. The sound effects all seem to be there, although a little bit weird. We've also actually got some of the music, which in most Bleems actually doesn't always work. Now there's tons of different modes here, included Versus, Grand Prix. Story mode is the one we're going to kind of take a look at now, because I kind of just want to see if the story mode actually works. So obviously we could go down the route of just showing the arcade, a bit of racing, but I want to see how the story plays out. I mean, look at this. This is all looking kind of correct, right? This is looking how I actually assumed it would have looked on the PlayStation 1. It's a weird story though, I'm not going to lie. It just seems like Chocobo basically wants his own race car, his own little car, or a way of racing. And then you basically kind of get entwined with a bit of a feud with another couple characters from the kind of Final Fantasy series, very obviously loosely linked to the Final Fantasy series. But yeah, it's here, and yeah, it's all working well. So yes, this is essentially where you get to select your race. Obviously, we are playing story mode, so you're just really having a choice of one, although I believe you can switch as you do gain more characters. But we just want to see how this actually looks, works, plays, etc. Wow, are you just as shocked as me? This is running, first of all, very stable. There's no real sort of lag or anything like that. The controls are really damn responsive, let me tell you. Although, yes, I'm not great at it. Obviously, I'm not really great at most games, but either way, visually, straight off the bat, the textures, I can't really see any that are going kind of see-through or kind of not in the right places. It all looks like they're all there, all thereabouts. The other thing is the music and the sound effects are working at the same time. That's another thing that never really seems to happen all that much in any of these Bleems. Yes, obviously things like Metal Gear Solid, the ones that were kind of basically perfected, let's say, before it all kind of got canned. Yes, this is one that I'm pretty damn sure should have been a close contender for something that could have actually been released. Actually, I'm really blown away with this one. I really am. Now yes, obviously there is no VMU saving, there is no VMU saving in any of the Bleems at this present time. Unless, you know, maybe it does get worked on again at some point, I'm not entirely sure, I can't see that happening. Either way, if it does, VMU support is the one that I'm pretty sure most people are going to want, because the reason that most Bleems don't actually work is the actual save check at the beginning of the game. They're the reason that most of these don't actually load. Obviously the ones that do, you don't have to save, and that's the reason you can go ahead. It doesn't need it to actually play. Either way, let's take a further deep dive into this. Now what I will say is, as the story progresses, this game actually gets pretty damn hard. I mean, you just got to look at the computer character there, the little Moogle, and I tell you what, he's off like an absolute shot. One thing I did notice though was at points it did feel like this game was almost speeded up. Bearing in mind I've not played this on the PlayStation 1, but to me it just felt a little bit quicker than it should have been. I could be wrong, you guys can see what I'm probably talking about. It just seems a little bit quick. Maybe it's just me not getting quite used to the fact that it's just running well. I don't know. The only other little graphical glitches are sometimes, for some reason, the Chocobo's little feathers on its head just seem to go green every now and again. Again, you probably barely even noticed this even happened at this point, but it does. But it is just a small thing. But apart from that, this Bleem really is, I've got to say, one of the best so far. It plays through all the way through with no issues. In fact, multiplayer even works absolutely fine. This really is one of the perfect Bleems, and I'm glad you guys could share this with me because I've really enjoyed this one. As always, drop a comment and a like, and subscribe. It's Al signing out. I'll leave you with a little bit more footage.
Mm-hmm.